Okay, so I got in touch with the dealership that sold me this. They gave me diagnostics on how to, or a troubleshooting guide on how to fix this, and it should be something easy, hopefully. And if not, they have a backup plan. But that's also the nice thing about buying a machine from a dealership, even a used machine. So let's see how it goes. So they originally switched out a throttle part from a manual to a digital, and they think that that might be the issue. Learning switch. Okay, so there's my fuse box right here. And then there's a learning switch. I don't know how to turn that on. Hold on a second. Which way does it flick? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then turn that off. Wait for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is something to do with the switch, at least.
Yeah.
I could hear the relay click behind me too. I'm gonna try that troubleshooting one more time. We'll see. Again, it's gonna shut itself off. It just takes a second.
But if you try to move it, will that trigger it? He's gonna roll it back to where the internet is so that we can talk to the guy or the technician, and they're gonna send us the part that they took out and switched out, and hopefully that'll get it working.
So this is what they pulled off this machine originally, is what they told me. And then they hooked up the electronic throttle again, but this machine came from Japan with this on it, apparently.
Which is a manual throttle.
So you have to move a cable with it rather than just use a digital throttle. So when I called the company that we bought this from, bought the excavator from, they knew exactly what was going on with it. So thank you guys for all of the comments. If ever this thing stops running, I will ask you, because you guys know what you're talking about. There's so many diagnostics checks that you guys told me to go through. And I did get in touch with these guys, with the guys that sold me the excavator, and they did know what was going on. But if hopefully, yeah, knock on wood. Soon. So we're gonna get this thing running again. I can run it in what's called learning mode for any of you heavy duty machine guys, but I want to be able to run it normally. So we're gonna get to it.
We're waiting for the phone call.
We're waiting for the phone call. I'm gonna sit here and wait.
And they're gonna tell you how to do it.
Yeah, should be easy to replace the throttle cable. Getting into the machine. Come on, you. What am I doing? Okay, so here is what's going on here. So this right here is the throttle cable. So I have to replace that throttle cable because the mechanism that electronically controls the throttle cable is not working. When the dealership that I bought this from got the machine, this had already had this manual throttle cable hooked up and bypassed the electronic version of the throttle. So that's the reason why the machine's not working. So it should be easy enough just to reroute the new throttle cable through here and rehook it up. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've got the throttle cable pulled out of here. Now I have to figure out a way to run the new old throttle cable through here. And I'm pretty sure that that's what this hole was through the cab. So I've got it mounted. I don't know if you can see that. I got it mounted there. I got to get this through here, and then I have to wind it around so that I can get it in the right orientation and hook it back up. Let's see how this goes. So far, so good. My confidence working on this isn't humongous, but it seems simple enough. I already know that that is not going to fit through there with this on.
So while Greg is working on the excavator, I thought I would go through our screaming deal of used windows that we picked up yesterday. I think we got 9 windows and an exterior door for $600. So I just want to go through and see what we have, because they had some of the sliders out from when they removed the windows from the building, and I'm having a hard time visualizing what we actually have. So I just want to go through and figure out what we're going to be using in the cabin and get all the sliders put back in place and kind of see what's happening. So we had to do a few adjustments on our drive home last night, but everything's looking pretty solid. And yeah, I'm excited to look at these and see what we got and start planning for our cabin. So we've got 4 of this size. We're gonna have to do new screens, but pretty good. And then we've got 6 of these kind of style with the lines going through it, I guess, or the grid. And then there is a bathroom window as well. And then the door. So we got all of that for $600, which is really awesome. I think that's, 11 windows and an exterior door. So they're a little bit older. I think the tag says 93 on them, but it's going to be in a cabin. We're trying to build this for under 10 grand or as close to that as possible. And I know once we buy the lumber, it's going to be pretty expensive. I'm not sure if we're going to mill everything. I guess maybe we'll mill what we can, but we're probably going to have to buy a bit of lumber just because we want to get this up as quickly as possible. We want to build a cabin for us to live in for the winter, and then we need to get the animals situated for winter as well. We're going to have to get some insulation in the chicken coop and kind of a closed-in covered area for the birds. The goats are a little bit easier, but they're also going to need just a warm place to shelter as well. So we got a lot of work to do.
So I've got this throttle cable all hooked up here. It's all willy-nilly because it's a big long cable and I'll have to get it all cleaned up. But I am going to try to start the machine now that I have control over the throttle, and we'll see if it goes. If it goes, I can clean up that throttle cable, and Bob's your uncle, or he's my uncle actually. Okay, nothing because it's in the off position, but when I go like this.
That's not a learning mode?
Nope. This at all. And then watch. Off. So it's, I mean, you
So is that how we turn it off?
No,
or?
you turn it off with the key, but
okay.
But if it's not going on, you got to turn it on. Oh, that wasn't that hard to fix. I can do that too. That's good. Feels good. Everything is easy if you just figure it out, including rocket science, I'm sure, but you got to figure it out.
Let's get digging.
Let's get digging. Okay, so the blue cable is the one that I installed. I've got it in there now. I still have the old throttle cable in there. The mechanic that I talked to, who told me how to fix this, he said rip it out, but I don't think I'm going to because it's only an electronic control unit that needs to be replaced, and if I want to replace that in the future, I don't have to rewire the cable, and it is super deep in the cavity. So I've got it kind of zip tied up. It's not hurting anything in there, but that wasn't that bad. So now we get to use the machine. connection. Okay, so one of my favorite things, this is a 2005 Hitachi 135 US. I have a Bluetooth radio in the machine. 2005, like, I think I still had my first MP3 player. This is a Japanese import, and they were ahead pretty significantly, technologically speaking, I think, because it has Bluetooth. Now, I don't think that this is an aftermarket. It looks like it's a part of the actual machine. It looks old, but I'm pretty impressed.
All right, we got the excavator running. Greg has said it doesn't have rabbit mode, which means he can't go very fast. So we're gonna have to figure that out, but we're gonna try and get a little bit of work done. We are at cabin site number 2, or option number 2, and as much as I wanted to be at the other spot, we're gonna go with this spot because our house site is really close to it, and we're thinking about our solar panels and stuff like that we can easily transfer over to the main house once we do build it. And having the animals here and stuff will be already set up basically, so it just makes more sense to be over here. And yeah, I'm excited. It's still a beautiful spot. Everywhere here is a beautiful spot, so I'm just really excited to get started on this cabin build. We're gonna try and build it for 10 grand, maybe a little bit more if we have to, but that's kind of our baseline budget, so we're trying really hard to stick to that. And we'll be using recycled material wherever we can. We've already got some windows, as you saw earlier, and a door, so it's looking good for that. Yeah, so I brought the quad up here before. I'm pretty sure I went up this pathway here, and just you can see how much it changes all the time here, because that used to be clear and now those 2 trees are down. These trees over here were down, but now these ones have come and blocked my pathway up there. So I might try and take the quad up that way and around to get up to that bench and wait for Greg to get here with the excavator. All right, so we're gonna be working on this area. We got a couple trees to take down, and Greg's just gonna bring the excavator up here now. I think he's probably gonna come through here where the trees are down, so we have to clean those up too. But this will be a nice cabin site, I think, and we will have to build a road because we know that the area we come through right now looks like it's gonna be a wet area most years, so it's pretty dry right now, so it should be fine, but we'll have to figure out our road and stuff later on. I just really don't want to be digging everything up and having fresh dirt everywhere. Last 5 years of dirt has been enough, so I want to try and keep everything as natural as possible and not really mess with the earth too much. But we're obviously gonna have to do a little bit of leveling for the cabin site, and then the rest we'll kind of figure it out as we go. But it's gonna be awesome up here, I think.
So there's the quote-unquote road. I'm very novice at driving this machine and very aware of its power. But here it is. Cabin site number 2. So with 300 acres, it's very difficult to find one spot that's gonna be a good spot for a cabin. Now this is our cabin. This isn't our forever home. It's a place that we're gonna live through the winter. So we need good access. We need good water. We need obviously sunlight, good sunlight. And I think we found the spot here. We were looking in this area to try to figure out a spot to put the cabin, but I think I'm standing on it right now because where Katie is there, we've got a nice place that can be a yard. We've got a forest that's growing up behind us, a nice view for now. We have a awesome spot for chickens down there, and the goats can go wherever, and there's enough room to keep all of our animals nice and safe and close to us. So we're gonna go see what the water situation is exactly here, because we don't know exactly how we're gonna pull that off. So one of the considerations of having the cabin where it is, which you can't tell, but it's just over that ridge right there, is we have a stream. Oh, and oh, he is nesting right there. My goodness, right there. Look, we better leave it alone.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go. Anyway, we were gonna take water from there, but we'll have to find another spot on the stream. Yeah. Anyway, we've got water. Basically, we're not gonna hurt the babies, but we've got water close enough that we can pump it up and over. Okay, so both Katie and I are learning this machine with no real person teaching us other than YouTube University. Katie, turn up your revs. There you go. That's good. So yeah, we're knocking over trees as complete amateurs. So I'm gonna get my dog out of the way and we're gonna see how Katie does here. Keep going. Push, push, push. That's okay, you can dig it out now. Just like playing in the sandbox, Katie. You gotta break the roots on all sides. Just do that there, there, and there. There you go. What do you think? The only way to get good is mileage like that.
I know.
You know, we're gonna spend some diesel learning.
Yes.
That's the biggest tree you've ever taken down.
Yeah. Kind of funny because we're trying to figure out, you know, where we're gonna dig and everything, and then I was gonna do the digging, but I really don't know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to ask Greg, like, what do I do? And he doesn't know what to do.
I have a little more confidence, but I don't really know what to do either.
So he's gonna try. He's gonna start out and see, get a feel for it, and then he can kind of direct me a bit more.
Here we go.
We're clueless.
Got a little mileage on that machine today, and I'm feeling a lot better about it. I'm getting comfortable with it. It's not feeling so big and scary. And that's important when you're using something. You got to be respectful of it, but still know how to use it and use it to its potential, and don't be scared of it. But so far, we've got a beautiful flat area. Flat. Yeah, I got more work to do, I know. We've got a flattish area that I've track packed for tonight. I probably shouldn't have done that because I'm going to dig more of it up tomorrow. I'm pretty proud of this work here. It doesn't seem like much, but I'm getting the hang of the machine. I said this in a previous episode, but I have a backhoe on my tractor and the controls are exact opposite. And I can flip that over, in my new machine here, I can flip that over to the tractor controls, and I probably will, but I haven't. So, this is what I've got done. Anyway, I'm rambling. See you guys.
All right, we're back at the cabin site today. We're gonna get the spot leveled out so that we will be ready to do layout for the concrete piers. We're just gonna extend our little pad a little bit so that we have flat area around the cabin when it's finished. The way we have it right now is basically just the size of the cabin, so we just want to give it a little bit more extra room. Greg's gonna pull back the topsoil from the extension part that we're gonna dig today, and then once that's out of the way, I'm gonna jump in there and start leveling out a bit more. We're gonna have to bring some dirt from one side to the other long ways, and then from one side to the other the short way as well. So shouldn't be too much work. It's looking fairly level already, but we want to get it perfect. So that's what we're working on today.
Grab the chainsaw.
Okay.
Okay.
Not too shabby. All right, got a fair bit done with the excavator. Now we're gonna bring in the tractor and just clean it up a little bit. We were gonna take the backhoe off and put the back blade on, but Greg just said that the pin is bent and stuck in there. So we're gonna have to grind it off and get a new pin before we get the backhoe off. But the tractor's gonna just kind of clean things up a little bit, and then we'll be ready for layout, which is really exciting. Eat my trusty sidekick, come here. Come on, boo-boo. Juniper boo-boo long dog. Look at that tail, it's perfect. You have the most perfect tail. Did you know that? Yes, that's so cute. You got my back, don't you, boo-boo? You got my back? Now, of course, digging into the ground like that isn't ideal when the snow is melting, and so our plan for that is to have drainage on the hillside of the cabin so that any moisture that comes down that hill is gonna hit that drain and take it away. But the hill is only that as far as you can see, and at the top of the hill there is a dip in the other direction. So anything higher than that will just get caught up in that dip anyways, and then there's really just that small little section that would drain in that direction. So we should be good with some good drainage in there, and we got lots of rock here, which is nice. So it's coming along. I think we're both more comfortable on the tractor and can move a little faster. So I know Greg is doing really good right now on the tractor, even though he doesn't have the back blade.
Okay, here she is. It's a 40 by 30 area for a cabin that is much smaller than that.